top of the morning, afternoon or evening, folks. It's Captain Liam here on Motor Yacht Unbridled here in Seattle. It's a beautiful sunny day. Just want to take this minute to see how everyone is and check in. I know there's a lot of crew out there having a tough time and challenges mid-charter. Hello Calvin, wonderful to see you again, my friend. Feel free to jump in. That's a blast from the past, Captain Calvin. If you want to join, just press the invite to join button. I'd like to hear people's take on this topic. It's about scams in yachting, and particularly the cruise scams we're exposed to. So if anyone wants to jump in, just press invite to join and we'll kind of go from there. Good to see you, Charlie, again, and Arabella. Not sure who's going to be joining us as a guest today, but once important, I hope you're well. Don't forget to ask the crew around you how they are, how you can help is a simple way to look at it. But today's topic, we're going to be talking about scams in yachting scams. I've had two couples in particular that have reached out, and they've been on Captain's Chat, they've been on Check-In Tuesdays, I won't say the names, but both of them have experienced scams. So if you've experienced a scam, feel free to jump in and join. It's an open format. The goal is to raise awareness and to help crew in the industry. And that's kind of what I aim to do with using the platform that we have here as a team. So I see Sailing Notes have joined in Ahmed. Good to see Adventures joined, Maria's joined. Firstly, I want to start off with some red flags as well. So what are some red flags in yachting that people have done? For me, hopefully maybe Captain Scott will join us and maybe even Hugo may join us. But if you've got any questions, feel free to put it in the chat as well. Captain Scott Kidd.
Good morning, Captain Liam. How are we doing today?
You're looking better in person than you do online, on Instagram and all that thing, mate. I'm good, buddy. Yourself?
Great, man. I'm home, just busy, but happy to be here as always, man. I get a lot of great energy from this, man. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully, we're having an impact and helping people here.
Yeah, it's about spreading awareness. I think Michelle's going to be joining us, which is
Excellent.
awesome. See if she jumps in too. You.
Hi guys.
Hey,
Hey,
Michelle.
Hi
Michelle.
Cap. How are you? How are you guys,
Excellent.
Scott? That's good.
How you doing, Michelle?
I'm good. Did you guys have a good weekend?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, man.
I'm
That's
in Seattle at the moment, but I thought it was going to be the worst winter of my life, and it's actually sunny. Like, it's weird.
I think
January
we
anyway.
switched. It's
Yeah,
really cold here.
it was what -4, -5 Celsius, 27 in Florida.
Yeah.
It's really-
And you're both in Florida? Shelley, you in
Yeah.
Florida at the moment?
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm up in
Yeah.
Indian Town.
Oh, really? I'm in Jensen Beach. That's west of me. Yeah,
Okay.
right there. Yeah.
Oh,
You're
what's
by
on
the
the Indian
lake.
Town Road? Is west of Jupiter, is it? An Indian
Yeah,
town?
Yes.
yeah.
Ah, beautiful out there.
Yes. I'm hiding from society.
Oh, good on you. Good
Yeah,
on
well,
you.
that's where you would go.
Uh,
Yes. There's
it's like
nothing here.
it's like on the weekends when I have a day off, I'm like straight to the mountains, and the crew are like, "Where are you off to?" I said, "I'm off walkabout." Like that's the
Yeah.
Yes.
Australian way. We go walkabout, and it's like I don't know where I'm going half the time.
Yeah,
You
nice.
know,
That's
that's
the
the beauty of it.
best.
That's also
Yeah.
okay.
Anyway, thank you
Thanks.
for joining us. And how's your
You're
partner,
welcome.
Michelle?
Good. They're busy. They're busy stripping outside all the deck panels, and they're on their own little mission out there.
Oh, good.
But we're
Well,
Nice.
good.
well, look, thanks for checking in. I really appreciate it. It's been a while since we've
Anytime.
spoke and seen each other.
Yeah.
And you know Captain Scott?
I followed him, but I've never met him in person.
Oh,
So it's
well,
Wow.
nice to meet you, Cap.
Nice to meet you.
he's not AI. He's real.
Yeah, it's
It's
a
real.
real
You're
guy.
real.
Yeah.
It's funny. Someone got me the other day. I was looking at a post, some company in Europe, and there was
Yeah.
these people advertising a product and a yacht and a female there and a guy talking, and then
Mhm.
the engineer said, "That's an AI account," and I was like, "How? How is it
Oh,
that
it's
real?"
getting bad. It's getting bad.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
So we're talking about scams,
Mhm.
Mm.
and this is what's two people that Captain Scott, and probably yourself, Shell, that we've
Yeah.
had
Mhm.
on Check-In Tuesday or Captain's
Yes.
Chats, were in a couple relationship and are looking for jobs. And the story I heard from her yesterday in the morning
Hmm.
was horrible. So have you heard about these scams?
I've heard of them, and they're everywhere. And I think it has to do with the Coast Guard right now. They're trying to like pin down everybody that's coming in and dock walking, and they putting up jobs, especially on day work 123 right now. And it's been going on for a long
Ah,
time,
Yeah,
where people are getting scammed. I've almost been scammed, but I could read through anybody. So
yeah.
Yeah,
Good for
you can
you.
see it.
yeah,
That's why we like
so
you, Shell. You call it as
there's
it is. You like it.
yeah, like you're talking nonsense. What I learned out of my experience when this happened to me is ask like the most basic questions to the so-called captain. Like what flag, what's the itinerary? Like how many charters have you booked? Where is this charters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like asking like all the extra questions because when I asked these questions they were like like
Uh,
what's the crew's nationality, well we haven't like fully crewed up yet, like, and I was like, yeah, this is
uh,
not.
Yeah.
yeah.
And hey, Chris just joined. Chris Cole, you had some great questions for next
Nice.
time, Chris. But
Mhm.
so you're saying one of the scams, I thought it was just about these visa, the money for the visa. But you're saying one of the scams is potentially government organizations
Yeah.
Mhm.
luring crew in to day work and
Yes.
then checking their visa status and deporting them.
Yeah.
Yes. So like my younger brother, he came in last year into the industry and like all of his people like kind of told me that they are going into crew houses now and like checking in as green crew, looking for
Hmm.
work, and they're just waiting to hear those words like, oh, we're here to find jobs, we've been day working, dock walking, and then they nail them
Yeah.
because they come in on B2s and then they're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so to explain to everyone, there's B1, B2, one's tourist and one's business.
Yes.
Yeah.
B1
And
would be business, B2 is tourism. So coming
okay,
for vacation, yes.
so that will check your B1, B2 status and then
Yeah.
Hmm.
determine if you are actually working, and you need to prove that you're on a contract, I would assume.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
And are these ICE people we're hearing all about, or are these Coast
Oh,
Guard?
That's Homeland Security, and they've
yes,
been
this will
doing
be
it for a
tough.
while. They've
Yes.
been
It's
doing
been
it
going
for a
on a long
while,
time.
but they've been doubling down on it recently.
A
Okay.
big one is LMC. I've heard a lot that it's been going down in LMC where they apply for the job and when the people show up, they like get them or they start searching the boats and if they see you're not on contract, they take you out. And it's sad because how else are you supposed to get work? We're not coming here to do anything else.
Yeah, well, that's what I see people attract because they're at home in wherever their home
Yeah.
is. They're trying to get a job and they're all advised go to Fort Lauderdale, work the docks, you'll get a job,
Yes.
or go to Antibes, which you need Schengen visas for.
Yeah.
So the advice is, and that's why I was happy to speak to Hugo because he's got a great platform that kind of
Yeah. He
gives
does.
solid, strong advice to people joining the industry.
Mhm.
But correct me if I'm wrong, the crew members in that instance are actually in the wrong,
Yeah.
They are in the wrong.
and
Yes.
Like
that's
if
through
you
lack of
like bluntly
education.
honest, it's you didn't come in the right way. And
Yeah.
then you said the wrong thing or you said too much, and sometimes say less and just listen and answer what they're asking instead of getting nervous and blabbing a whole story and your career is down the drain and you have to wait until April to go to Europe.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I'm in a lot of captains groups and different groups in industry, and I wasn't even thinking of that scam when when
Yeah.
I kind of set this check-in Tuesday up. I was thinking of the visa
The
scam.
visa
Yeah.
scam. Yeah.
But and we'll get onto that. But this is more interesting because I think it's closer to home for so many crew
Yeah.
that are in Fort Lauderdale. So, what's Captain Scott, from your perspective, what's your advice to crew out there and to captains because this is a liability on the yacht and the
Yeah.
captain and the owner.
Well, definitely make sure you have everything in order before you get to the boat. Make sure you have a contract. Make sure you have all your visas in order, and the captain and the chief officer and everyone should verify everything before they get everyone there. But we know how it works.
Yeah.
Realistically, does this happen all the time? Things get missed, and a lot of times, people get released from a boat and they're not repatriated, and they
Yeah.
end up staying here, and then they start looking for work, and then they respond to one of these ads and stuff, which I think is kind of wrong to do that. But I personally, this is my take, not to be political or anything, but if someone, I don't have a problem with anybody that's willing to work, that wants to go anywhere in the world. If they're willing to work and they want to do the job, I don't have any problem as long as they're not a criminal.
Yeah.
I will hire them. But that probably puts me in a gray area there. But a lot of times on the boats we need somebody right then, and we take that person. Then we get everything sorted out. This day worker here, they're day workers are all over the place. We need multiple people, like 10 people. Are they all going to have visas? You know,
But
They
then
all
is it?
come in. Sorry, Cap. You
we
come
No,
on.
wouldn't
it's
have
cool,
it.
Shell. I'd love to hear your take on it, Shell, because you've got a good feet on the ground kind of feel that you're there in
Yeah,
Florida, and you've got a big network and a
Yep.
huge following, and I think it's great what you do because
Thank you, Cap.
it's professional, it's punk, it's professional, it's approachable, and it really is a good leadership for young stewardesses and any crew member, male or female, to see your content and go, that's the standard. That's the
yeah,
Cap.
standard. And you're doing it with positivity and pose, and that's what I love about it. Anyway,
It's
that's
all
that's
about the
my
fun. But
my
yeah.
rant about you.
Thank you, Kat. Just from like a personal standpoint, I deal with these things. I've been here 7 years, almost going on 8. So I've dealt with the different visas and like helping other crew members and like helping my brother's friends, like doing this the right way because they're young. They don't know like it's wrong. No one told them it's the wrong thing.
yeah,
And what I've noticed at work, if you get applied, like you apply to a job and you get it, fly out, fly back in, even if it's on your own cost, which you don't want to do, but fly in and sign your contract in the Bahamas or like do it the right way. Come in the
yeah,
appropriate way because you're not just a liability to yourself, you're a liability to the captain.
yeah,
Okay.
Because if he gets caught. Also, if you're day working, get a paper. Like when we come in through the border, you need like a proof, like a paper, like to whom this may concern, this
Yeah.
person is employed.
yeah. You need a
Just,
letter.
just something to show. Like
Yeah.
I didn't come, like don't go and dock walk and walk on the side, and because at the moment they're trying to get people that are not legally here, like
Hmm.
out, even if you didn't do anything wrong. And it's not targeted on the yachting industry, but we
Yeah,
are a part of that. We're aliens, so
Yeah.
it is. Do it.
I've been told that.
It's
Foreign
yeah.
aliens line up here.
Yes, that's what we
yeah,
are. So there's ways to do it and work around it. When you come in, like have boat papers on like just answer what they ask. A lot of times with they know who we are. So they don't
yeah.
even ask. They just go, you coming to join your boat? Yeah. And then go on your I-94 and make sure you stamped in onto a B1. I
Hmm.
was stamped in on a B2 the other day and I came in with the boat. So I went back, I was like, sorry, officer, you didn't make a mistake, but there might be a system in the, like an error in
Yeah.
the
I see
system.
a system. Yeah,
Could we maybe change this? Because you don't want to go after them.
Okay.
So
So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
the action
and
items were
respect the country.
yeah, respect the country. 100%. The officers
Yeah.
yeah,
are
yeah,
correct. And the thing is, people don't realize in every country, and particularly America, the officers have the right to refuse.
Yes.
yeah.
And that's important to understand in America. Like I had one criminal once refused a Coast Guard to board the vessel because
Mhm.
it's private yacht, don't board. And the deckhand's thinking, but no, they can't, Captain. It's private. You always said. And I'm like,
Mm,
Coast Guard,
yeah,
Coast Guard.
Yeah.
There's certain doors you open up. So
Yeah.
yeah,
With those
yeah,
size guns, you can do whatever.
yeah. So
yeah,
the clear actionable items for crew out there listening is we talk about paper, we talk about a certificate of registry.
yeah,
Mhm.
So a crew list with your name on it that's up
Yes.
to
yeah,
date that
yeah.
shows when the vessel entered, when it's leaving, ETA,
Mhm.
ETD. Talk about a contract for yourself and a letter of employment that Captain Scott mentioned too, which shows the
Yes.
vessel's name. Now, one other thing I'll add, if you don't mind, is a lot of the officers now are saying, when is the yacht leaving?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's something that
Unfortunately,
all of my crew are telling me that they're getting asked, when's the yacht leaving? So they
yeah,
know where the yacht is. They can check it on AIS, Marine
yeah,
Traffic. They want to
Mhm.
know that it's leaving probably before that your visa expires.
Yeah, the six
So
yeah,
months.
they're doing due diligence as well. And then it's 6 months or 12 or 3. So
yeah,
check your visa status on i.94.gov or something. You can
Yes.
check
yeah,
your
yeah.
visa status. That's
It's
scary, isn't it, though? If you're a young crew member and you come over here.
yeah, and
Yeah, and you don't know.
I would add, yeah, just make sure you have all the stuff right. Like she was saying that a lot of the crew don't really know that they need to comply with all these rules. I mean, we may not like it, but that's the way it is. But you know, there's so many jobs out there and so many boats out there that it's better. It behooves you to do it the right way. If you can, you know, sign your contract, definitely sign from outside of the states, which is one of the main things that
Yeah.
people especially young people, I see that they don't really understand that they need to be hired from another country, not here
Yeah,
in the States.
they were
Yeah.
You
brought
know.
up.
And we've just got Superyacht Insurance joined, who's my insurance broker, and she's wonderful. But it brings it to a good point. I always believe you should sign your medical forms, medical insurance joining forms before you join, just
Yes.
so because they can ask that, and on your letter, excuse me, it must say words to the effect of, in the event of termination, the crew member will be repatriated, and
Yeah.
that's another bit of security for the crew member that if you join a
That's a
yacht
good
and it's
idea.
make sure your letter of employment and your letter of joining both say those words. In the event of termination of your contract, you'll be repatriated.
Yeah, that's a great ad because definitely they want to make sure that you don't just kick them off the boat and leave them in the States because that's what they don't want. Then they're there illegally, and that's also illegal for us to do that as captains to not repatriate the people. And that's
Yeah,
one of the biggest things we can get in trouble for is not repatriating crew.
Yeah, it's
and it's
I don't
sad
know
because it
some.
happens.
Oh,
Yes, it
absolutely.
does. It does happen for
And
sure.
same as temp work. The way I look at it is you've got to be transparent with the crew, and we've worked together, Shell, and you've got to say, what are the options? What works for you? What works for me? What's legal? What's not legal?
Yeah.
How do we figure all this out? Because it's a tough to navigate. It's a very
Yeah,
tough
like
situation to
I had a
navigate.
lot of questions for Captain Liam before I joined. I signed my contract with him in South Africa because I never worked in Alaska before. So I was like, how does that work? Like,
Yeah,
how do we travel and like how does like that kind of thing work? And he explained it to me, and we went through the contract, and I signed, and then I only flew over. So when I got to the customs, they exactly like asked the right questions, and then
Yeah,
I walked through, but
yeah.
it was
yeah,
done the right way. But it also comes with time where you learn, oh, we shouldn't say that. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
that's too much information.
That was a
And if
long
it's too
flight,
good to
though.
be, yes,
That's a
yeah.
I'm
long
still
flight.
recovering.
I am too. I think that's why they rested me in Seattle. Like, all right, take a break, Cat.
Yeah,
Take a
my
couple of
new
months in
hobby is
Seattle.
being tired now.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It brings into something. I've been doing a lot of, we've had some great speakers on the captain's chat, and we talk about health, which is important, physical, mental. But I actually just did a testosterone test this morning because and a vitamin D test. And
Yeah,
did you know, because of the latitude of Seattle, the sun does not produce vitamin D?
Oh,
really.
really?
There's a little bit of
That's
information
something.
for you. Because I'll be honest, this is check-in Tuesday. I'm going to be honest, if you don't mind. I was feeling a little flat, and I'm like, this is not me. I'm always fishing and diving and getting my ocean,
Yeah,
and I didn't feel great. So I went and did a test. I think it was Tess that advised it, or one of our check-in Tuesdays, Captain Scott. They said do the blood work. Remember?
yeah. That's right.
So I did the blood work, and they said vitamin D is down. You need to take 2,000 or 1,000 IUs, international units a day. And don't worry, it's because the sun doesn't produce vitamin D in this latitude.
Wow.
And I was
Huh.
like, that's a simple answer. I like that.
Yeah. Well, I
Now it's
know.
remembering to take it is the problem. I'm like,
Yeah, I know vitamin D affects a lot of other things in your blood work and everything else. Your cholesterol levels, your just overall health, testosterone levels, and everything else. It
okay.
touches a lot of different things, so it's a big thing. So just take it every morning, every night, whatever you know.
Yeah. Well, it's every morning. It's 1,000, 2,000. But the key is go south, Liam. Go south to Costa
So
Rica or
south,
Mexico or back to the Caribbean.
go
You
Even if
need
it's
south.
sun
cold where you
again.
are, you need
Yeah.
sun. But anyway, we're talking about these scams. I really want to, is there anything else you want to kind of touch base on the Fort Lauderdale based scams where we talk about,
If it sounds too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
Yeah,
yeah,
If
most
you're
definitely.
I have a girl that she had an offer for a job as a chief stewardess, and she has like a year in the industry. And I was like, do you
Mm,
think if you really, it's that busy of a charter boat and stuff, do you really think this is real? And if
yeah,
it is, by all means, but it's like, why would you apply, like hire someone with a year
the
of like a
experience.
private boat kind of experience? It doesn't make sense. So I'm like, that's too good to be true. Like, walk away.
yeah,
Yeah.
but there's the story I heard, and she may jump on or not here. It's her story, but she said yesterday that she got the interview through a career agent. She did a 45-minute interview for her and
Wow.
her partner. They got offered the job. They got signed a contract. They looked at the yacht. Then the company came back and said, by the way, as we're in Canada, we need you to get a visa. We have a visa agent we work with. Here's the contact. They communicated with the visa agent, pay the money. After the money was paid, they had an interview with the chief stew. Then they had an interview with the captain and about joining. So everything aligns. Like at that point, they were like, "We've got a job. We're going to Canada. Everything aligns." And then something clicked. She's like, "That captain sounded like the crew agent."
Oh,
Oh
And
wow.
then the partner said, "This is Canada. Like this is not like I don't know where the people are who are doing the scams, but they're like
Yeah.
that captain sounded like the crew agent, and that also sounded like the visa agent." And that's when they realized that, hang on.
yeah,
And
something's
Yeah.
then they kind of went down the path of, this is not feeling correct, would like to withdraw her application. And she cancelled her payment on her credit card,
mm-hmm.
and her partner cancelled the payment on his credit card. And I think she got her money back, he didn't. But long story short, then they were, it's a scam. The
Yeah.
person didn't
You should
communicate
not be
effectively.
paying agents at
Yeah. You
all.
should not be paying anything to show up for the job.
They're free for us.
They should send you everything. You know, the boat should be paying for all your everything to get you there. I mean, no questions asked,
Yeah,
pretty
but this is
much.
where I'm a bit confused, and I'll be open too, because Chris Cole's just jumped in again. He says my missus and I are currently looking, and we've had a few sketchy interviews, but when you know when you know. Good advice, Chris, and you're always helpful. But as a captain too, I'll be honest. I'll say it's a real boat, it's a real person. But if I'm employing someone, am I responsible for their B1 B2 visa in South Africa?
No.
No.
Exactly. So that's
No.
where
True. Yeah.
that's where I think it's tricky for crew trying to join and listening to this going, well, I do have to pay for my visa. So I think it's going to be worded like, look, be aware, but you shouldn't. I don't know. I'm honest.
Well, usually when you put the ad or you send the word out, you do that as one of the requirements, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, a B1, B2, ENG1, you know, Yacht
Exactly. You're
Master,
right.
whatever. You know,
Yeah.
so they kind of have to have those certs and visas requirements already. But you know, if you know if they're asking you for money up front, that's like kind of sounds like they had it were pretty well thought out the way they were
Yeah.
going through everything. So yeah,
No
it's
agent should ask you money.
no, they shouldn't.
Yeah. So you may be responsible for your own visa, like Chris Cole saying, pay for your own, but that means you have to do it yourself. You have to go to the embassy
Go and get
yourself,
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
apply it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're
So
not going to an agent or like she said, you're not paying an agent anything, especially not someone you've never met or
Yes.
never heard of.
I
Yeah.
have a
okay.
lady that does all my visas for me out of South Africa. Like I just fill it in for her, but she's like a trusted lady in the yachting. Like her son's in yachting. So it's like that's how we found her. But like a crew agent has nothing to do with that. Like
No,
there is no
Good
company
advice.
that does that
no.
at all. And if you don't know, there's so many platforms like where you can go on Yacht Spot and then they tell you and then they send you like there's like links where you can go find where you can do your
Yeah.
visas if you don't know like how or Google it. But you
Yeah.
don't go through it. Like an agent gets their money a different way. They don't
Yeah.
get it through crew.
Yeah. They don't get it from the crew.
No.
They get it from the boat.
The
Yeah.
placement.
Yes.
So I think the
Yeah.
first thing is when you see a post, I think the first thing is maybe verify the agency, because we've all spoken about the agency, whether it's Yacht Spot, but I'm sure Yacht Spot are getting some of these scams are also
Yeah, they
coming
have
through
some
Yacht Spot.
scams there. Yeah.
So, to verify the agency, like there's a list of agencies out there that are well known. They've got to have people behind them, crew
Yeah.
coach even. There's different agencies there. So verify the agency is the first step. And then you're saying verify the visa agent you're working with that you
Yeah.
choose independently. So make your independent decision.
Yeah. And like what I've done for me, especially like for Lauderdale Yacht Crew, like on Facebook, there's been a lot of scams. So if I see an ad, I would go into that person's profile.
Hmm.
Like, has this been like an occurring thing? Is it like different
Ah,
positions? Like,
Yeah.
who is this person? Because a lot of times it's someone sketchy. Like,
Yeah.
who does this
yeah,
person fall under? And then when you actually get through the interview process, ask what's the boat's name. Because
Yeah.
you get into that point, they won't give it to you in the beginning, But if you're
No.
getting to signing a contract, I've
Yeah.
gone, what's the boat's name? Because you can go look it up. We have so many
Absolutely.
like friends in the industry where they like, you go look it up. They're not looking for crew,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Absolutely.
the boat's been posted that it's for that boat.
Well, and
Yeah.
also be careful when you're looking up their profiles and stuff on social media and stuff. If if they have, because people can make those fake profiles as well. But you
Definitely.
can tell if they don't have a whole lot of stuff in there, and it, chances are if the pictures look a little off or it looks, just do some investigation. You can kind of tell. Although these
Yeah.
guys have gotten really good, like we were talking about the AI and stuff,
Yeah.
Hmm.
these guys are pretty tricky. So, and even just go to the other groups and check, with them. Have you heard of this agency, this boat? Ask around, do your due diligence because
Yeah.
you trust
Check
but
the
verify.
dates.
Yeah, check the dates. Yeah,
The
yeah,
Because a lot
dates
of times they
of,
post the same day. It's like post like their family pictures are all the same date.
yeah,
They do it
yeah,
on
that's a good
Instagram as
one.
yeah,
well.
yeah. That's a good
Oh,
one.
yeah, this is a good one. So Chris has got a question. Chris Cole, what would you say the most reliable agencies are these days that aren't flooded people that are experienced, etc.? I feel like we get lost with the 1,000 other applicants who apply. Good spot. I don't want to call out anyone's, but there's
Yeah,
ones that have
Yeah.
been in the industry so long. Like luxury yachts, and there's places like that have just been so long in the industry that it's hard not to recommend them.
yeah,
What's your top couple without being preference?
For me or for Captain Scott?
For yourself,
yeah,
Shirley, the one.
yeah.
I've
I
never
didn't hear the
gotten a job
question.
through an agency.
Ah,
Yeah,
I've
there you go.
never, it was by how, when you go out and you like meet crew, it's how
yeah.
I
Word of
present,
mouth.
like present myself, and then they
Mm.
go, hey, Shal, like we have this position open. Would you like consider sending over your resume? Or if a friend of a friend, like that's how I've been got, like getting my jobs. I've had used crew agents, but me personally have not had success. But I also look for jobs as a couple, which
Yeah,
is hard in a different category.
that's a different
Yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Well, I
Yes.
think we look at Meridian Yacht Crew. There is
yeah,
Yacht
They're
Meridian.
Spot.
phenomenal.
There's
They're
Yeah,
phenomenal.
Meridian's
and
I mean, I'm not. I'm kind of biased because Gary is a friend of mine, but I would say Meridian's the best because just because he's made it more user friendly, and they have the biggest database, and then they
yeah.
also have work with a whole bunch of different crew agencies. So I think you get a lot of filtering there with a lot of different things,
Yeah.
and
Also, I mean, the thing is with what I like about Gary too, a Meridian Crew, it's meridiango.com, I think it is.
yeah,
But, as a businessman and as a yacht owner, he saw
yeah,
the problem and he
yeah,
came up with a solution to the problem, as
yeah,
opposed to crew agencies that have just developed. And sometimes I think crew agencies like the crew that turn over because they give
yeah,
them an income stream. And I'm like,
yeah,
why would you recommend me that person that has nothing, doesn't align with any of my thoughts or the way I
yeah,
like to run a ship?
Mhm.
And that's when
yeah,
I'll go, maybe you've got a vested interest in the financial aspect as opposed to the result I'm going for. So
And they
I think
also don't
Meridian,
just place you. They don't just place you. They actually match you a lot of times with the boat. Like
yeah,
I've spoken to a lot of them. If I was like looking for a position by myself, there's plenty, and they're on top of it and they check in.
yeah. Hello,
yeah.
Nadia. I just saw Nadia join. Love you, dear. Hope you're well. Don't know if you know Nadia, either of you, but she's a wonderful
Yeah.
person.
Nadia.
Lovely, positive. I saw her out running in Antigua Charter Show one day. I hadn't seen each other for years, and we're both just running in the morning before the charter show. I'm like, I think we're the only two out here. All the other crew have got
Yes.
hangovers. You know. Anyway, I think also, this might lead into kind of, don't want to sound like a sales pitch here, Scott, but personal branding and social
Yes.
media. Let's just talk about that for a second. And you've just got a course that's come out, correct?
Yes, and I know what it's done for me and just what other people can do, but you have to be. I would say the first thing for guidance, you want to be careful with what you post about the boats and stuff, because the generation we come from, it's everything was NDAs and you couldn't talk about anything at all that had to do with the boat. But now it's a little more open, so just be careful what you put out there. But personal branding, make sure you don't have some. really bad situations all over your social media, especially when you're looking for a job. I mean, it can be detrimental. I've known people in the corporate world where they look back 10 years and saw some things that they didn't like, and they said, "No, that's a red flag," even if it's 10 years ago. So just be conscious that those things do matter.
Okay, so
I
the
agree.
course is on navigating. Is it navigation? What's it called? Just so
No,
I
no,
can.
it's basically it's personal branding. It's basically on four platforms: LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Just
Okay.
about organizing your profile so that you look professional and that you basically figure out what your target is. Like if you're going to get a yacht job, you want to make sure you look like a professional yacht crew, and you attract the people that are going to come to you that are going to help you get a job. So,
Perfect.
but
And,
that's in a
what's your
nutshell.
take on it, Shell? Because you've got a wonderful personal brand yourself, and it's tell us what your take
Thank
is on
you, Pat.
personal branding and how to address it with the captain, maybe, or on employment. How do you discuss that with someone?
Well, I have had this conversation where when I look for my next deal, I go on your Instagram and I go on your Facebook just to kind of see who are you, like who am I
Yeah,
hiring? Because you can tell me whatever you want on an interview. You can have practiced this like for weeks now.
Yeah.
So what I always tell them, no one needs to know that you drink alcohol. You don't have to post it for the world. You
yeah,
don't have
yeah,
to post a photo with a cigarette in your hand and like how would you want us to portray you? Like
yeah.
your party, like you're not gonna come onto the boat and do that kind of thing. So
Okay.
when you're posting on Instagram, especially what everybody does is have an Instagram page, especially like for especially us girls, is have like your stew page just so that I can see what you kind of do. And then when I go look who
Ah.
you are, is post like are you a family person? Like did you go and play golf this weekend or whatever the case is? But you don't have to post like all like I'm drinking and I'm partying because
Yeah,
I'm gonna see okay, I'm bringing on a party animal that's going to be hungover every
yeah,
Monday and then
yeah,
Mm.
not going to want to work. That's how I see it.
yeah,
So everything you do in your life doesn't have to go on social media.
yeah.
Oh, because I have two accounts. So I have a
Yeah,
personal and
Yes.
oh,
that's definitely, I go
good
along those
advice.
lines. That one of the best advice I got. This is pre-social media, is the first captain I worked for. He said, never take a picture with a drink in your hand.
Yes, I have that rule, very strong. Chase is
Yeah,
not allowed to
it's
post a
great
picture with a
advice.
beer in his hand.
Yeah, it's great
Wow.
advice. You don't want to have those. You can have
Yeah.
that on your personal page, but not on your professional page or whatever. Maybe
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you're a wedding or whatever, you're having a good time with your family or whatever. That's fine, but even still, be
But
conscious.
there's ways to do it.
Yes,
You know,
most
like
definitely.
if you're blowing up a roof with fireworks on New Year's and you and your friends are getting out of hand, we don't need to see that. You can maybe
No,
tell us
no.
and we all get close on board, but we don't have to see that because we're going to be like, okay, this is a problem child.
Yeah, yeah,
You
Yeah.
know?
True,
So it's,
I'm open because, like, I don't know, on the weekend I went to this, I did a hike in the morning and then I found the afternoon, I went to Deception Pass and then I walked past this winery,
Oh, nice.
something dog winery. And then we got a little flight of tasting white rosé, red. And I had a flight of tasting. I took a picture, and it was just like a beautiful picture with a nice
Oh,
little
that's
couple of seats. And it was a tasting flight. And I was like, and I was thinking the same thing. I said, do I post that or not post that? And
well.
it's a beautiful picture, but I think it's not a party scene. It's not me
Yeah,
in a
yeah. Well,
nightclub
it's
with dancing on a table. Not that I do
it's
that,
kind
but
of a relaxed setting. It's like, hey, Liam likes to relax. He shared a nice experience with everybody. That's
true.
different than you falling down the stairs with beers or whatever.
yeah,
So.
put it on your story, Cap.
Yeah, yeah,
All right, there
As
you go.
yeah.
last 24 hours, you can go find it again. Just put it on your story. I had fun with my friends. I went out, but there's
Yeah.
everything can be done to like moderate. It's
Moderation.
Yeah,
yeah. There's levels of it where I'm having a nice wine with it, like I'm on date night with Chase, or it's like oh we're
true.
getting wild in Fort Lauderdale and the
Yeah,
whole world doesn't like there's
Yeah, yeah,
ways to what are you posting? What do
yeah,
you
true.
want people to see about you? Do you want to see oh I like to party, I need friends to party with, and then okay that's what we're seeing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or stop posting your body on Instagram as well. That's also been a big thing. Is
yeah. That's
I
a
go,
big thing.
I'm looking who you are. I need to show my captain why I want you. But
Yeah.
all I seeing is bikini pictures, like of my
Yeah,
stews,
Yeah.
for example, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Understood.
and then when you see, look for the deckhands, it's just, it's bri, and it's alcohol. So it's
yeah,
like, who are you?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
True.
you know,
True.
the thing is the industry is so small. If you're out the party child anyway, we find out pretty quick.
Yeah, that's true.
You
Yeah.
don't have to
Exactly.
post
It's too
it. We
small.
we know. We're like,
Yeah.
yeah, a few people, a few degrees of separation. We got your whole backstory. Whether
Oh,
it's
So
true
quick.
or not, we can decide.
yeah, exactly.
That is
And
true.
thanks for your comment there, Nadia. But what we're basically saying is everyone has a personal brand anyway. So
Yes.
why not invest in it? You know, because social
Yeah.
media isn't going away. It's only going to get
No.
bigger and there's more
Yeah,
people
don't change
involved
who
in it.
you are.
Yeah, that's what I
No.
think too. I think being authentic, like
No.
people who see my page, they know I love nature.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
who I am. So you know, if an owner is looking for a captain or a broker or whatever the
Yeah.
situation is in the world, or this owner, at least he knows that right. Captain Liam on a day off, he goes
Yeah.
walkabout.
Yeah.
You know, that's and the crew know that that's my space too. I enjoy
Yeah.
that. So the crew, you know, eventually associate me with that. That's my personal brand. We got a
Yeah.
question here from Matthew K. Rose. Quick one. I've got 4 seasons experience under my belt. Congratulations. I've accumulated the med. Even better. 4 seasons is probably 4 years, and the med is
Yeah.
very hot and
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
painful. I'm hoping to get my next gig in the States soon. Any advice? I'm applying from home this month. So, Matthew, firstly, thank you for reaching out. I hope you're well. You're the person we're kind of speaking to because the
Yeah.
scams that we're talking about are going to be coming to you and you'll be going through an emotional roller coaster of I've got a job, it's looking good, and I just lost $700.
Yeah.
So this is the topic. The number one thing we want to verify the recruiter agency. You know, firstly, update your profile, resumes, Meridian, Yacht Spot. There's a third one I'm thinking of. What's that third platform? Do either of you know? There's Meridian, Yacht Spot,
There's
Blue Water
luxury.
Um,
Yeah.
One account.
luxury
There's
elite,
custom crew.
and there's elite, elite
Yeah,
as well.
elite cotton crew. There's, yeah, Meridian. You
Lux.
can get luxury yachts.
I think the industry's got big enough now that we actually have crew agencies specific to your department. Would you both agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of times when I'm looking, usually it's the head of department that's looking, and then I just kind of help do some background and verify because they're the ones that have to work with that person directly, or
Yes.
unless it's a head of department, and then I do a little more vetting. But you know, one good question I would say to ask is like. Say it's the captain or the crew agent, or if it's not the crew agent, but if it's another captain or something calling you, ask them. You have the right to ask them, like, how did you get my number? Who referred you to me? So that
Yeah.
you know that it's an actual. And if it's not somebody you know, be kind of wary about that. You
Yeah.
know, they just say some random person that you don't know. I'd be a little more vigilant in responding to that person because I know some of the best hires we've had is just word of mouth. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
as if you know if Liam sends somebody to me, I know okay, he's gone through Liam's program, so more than likely he's going to be
So
good.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, well,
They're tough
He's
people. You know,
buttering you up.
Michelle
well,
knows. You know,
no,
they're
I
tough.
mean, no, but I mean, it's
Yeah, I
just
know.
for instance, since we know each other, you know, we kind of have the
Yeah.
same kind of vibe. So it's like
Yeah. True.
the only thing you really got to do is get the work done, and
Yeah,
that's
that's
fine.
it. Do your
Then we're
job.
good.
Rule
Yeah.
number one. You know, help others. Do your job
Yeah,
and help others. You know,
yeah,
and be positive. And you know, the truth always comes out in yachting. That's what I say to people too. Like Michelle's herself, and it's exactly what Michelle was when she joined, and it was perfect. It was what we needed. It was an emergency situation. But Matthew's at home going from private to charter. So Matt, don't worry about the transition. Private to
yeah. Look,
charter, they're
same
same,
thing.
same, but different. You know what I mean? It's you just get a couple more tips at the end of the week.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
you get
yeah,
some tips. You know. So what's your tip there, Shell, for Matt? These 4 seasons trying to come to US, trying to he's looking at jobs. What would you say?
So private, so I just hired Ash off of a private, and the only thing that I've noticed with her is on a private, it's more of a, it's not relaxed. You can come from intense private, so there's different ones, but it's almost like the same thing over and over. So be open, like do it, jump into it, maybe do a lower position if you like from, if you're an officer, maybe just do bosun for like a month just to see how it operates,
Yeah.
and then just work. It's going to be speed, and it's like it's there is going to be things that change. Private is more of a like a proper system. It's the same cycle
Yeah.
over and over again, where charter is like, oh shit, what's
Yeah.
Yeah,
next,
We
you
don't drink
know, like.
Evian. I'm like, we drink Fiji. Like,
Yes, yeah. Oh,
of
oh,
yeah,
course I
you
yeah,
do
don't like it.
that.
I stocked up the boat for the season on Fiji. Oh, like four charters want like alkaline water, and they want like the
yeah,
Evian, and
yeah,
they want this, and there's
Yeah.
different. And you just for the deck, this is gonna, I assume, mats for deck. It's gonna be different, and just be open to it. It's speed, and your pocket is way heavier. So do it.
yeah,
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 yeah, absolutely. But you know, and back to those scams though, because it's going to happen. And I
Mhm.
was really scared to hear that two people that I know that are very experienced, and I'd work with them anytime, two couples, and I'd have them on any boat I'd run, both got scammed. So it doesn't
Yeah.
matter your level of experience here.
No.
You've got 4 years or a couple of years there, Matt. So just be aware that whether you're joining or you've had a lot of years. I had a chief officer I worked with, got a great job in Australia as a dive slash fisherman, scam. Same thing,
uh,
visa. And that guy's got like 10 years in yachting. It's just when you look at these jobs, your eyes, you get excited. You call your
yeah,
family and you call your friends and you're like, I got this
Yeah.
opportunity. And then all of a sudden it falls through. So it is reality. But you know, let's take a little side, go to the left here a little bit. Who are doing this? Who are the people doing these scams?
I
And
don't
how do
know.
we find them? How do we not share their details? That's a bit I'm a little bit confused by.
yeah.
They have been
That's
doing good on Facebook by sharing these scams on name and shame. They have been throwing
Okay.
them out and by
yeah,
name.
yeah. There's a couple of boats that keep the name if they comes up. I can't recall offhand, but they are naming them, and I would strongly encourage people to do more of that. You know, put it out there. You know, and because it's a shame. You know, I was when I was looking probably 15 years ago when my kids were young, I was looking at, you know, and this is right after the global financial crisis where I was looking at going into commercial, and there were similar type scams or whatever, and I knew a lot of them were scams,
Mm.
but they were a lot more prevalent. I'd heard some horror stories, and people, you know, the internet wasn't quite as live as it is now, but I had heard from other people that I called around and found out that this is how long ago it was. I was actually calling on the phone.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, we have to put the word out that there are these scams there because they, you know, if you have to put money up, chances are just question it because you shouldn't have to put any money up. I
Yeah.
mean, even application
Yeah.
fees, be wary. Find out who this agency is and stuff like that. You know.
Can
Okay.
I add
So,
to that?
of
Sorry,
course.
Cap.
Of course.
If you come with an agency that you've never heard of before, like we named a few agencies, which is like what, like for us, everybody knows these agencies.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if it's one that you don't know, don't be scared to go on Facebook and say, do you know who this is? Like, has anybody
Yeah.
used them? What has been
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
experience with them? Because a lot of times people will be like, this is going on. This is what
Yeah.
happened to me and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, that does
Yeah.
happen in a lot of captains groups. We get people's names. There's someone work with this person, and the answer is
Yeah.
yes, no, yes, no, yes, good, no, good. So it's the
Yeah.
same thing. And a lot of these groups are on Facebook as well. So the number one, verify the agency. We've talked about that. We've talked about never pay upfront for a job. That is probably the biggest red flag. If you're
Yes.
putting money out of your
Yes.
pocket to the person who's getting a job for you, that is the wrong way the transaction happens. You are the
It's
asset.
wrong.
You know,
Yeah.
have your worth to yourself. The third one is watch for suspicious communication. What's some examples here? You think like spelling, you think being rushed to accept the job, and what are some other suspicious red flags?
Random requests.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
What
Definitely.
like?
I've had a girl tell me she was asked to send pictures of her body size for the stewardess,
Oh,
which was
Yeah.
false. No one does that.
No.
no.
Like, why are you happening? If or they go like, send me your banking details beforehand. like
Yeah.
in a request. Why do you need that right now?
Yeah.
Like, why
That's a
can't you
good
get it
one.
when?
Yeah.
Yeah, why?
Send me your passport, your
Yeah.
licenses and stuff before you even accepted the job. Never do that. Don't send out your personal stuff. And if you do get hired and they want that stuff electronically, make sure they send you a secure link or a
Okay.
Yes.
portal or something that you can upload it to. That it's not just randomly sent on WhatsApp or through email, because email is notoriously can be hacked, and it can be fraudulent or whatever. I used to be in the tech world, and email is a lot easier to hack than you might think.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll tell you another scam that's happened to me, not to me personally, but twice on board with crew members in the past, where I get a text on a day off on a WhatsApp text, WhatsApp, yeah, and it says, I, crew member's name, have lost my wallet. Please transfer via Zelle or transfer
Yeah,
wise
Oh, I got that
yeah,
same one. I
yeah.
know
I
who you're
got that
talking
one.
about.
What
Hmm.
is that?
I
How
got
is
that
that
Yeah.
same
happening?
text from her. Yeah.
Yeah,
Text
exactly.
scams.
Yeah.
There's a lot of text scams. I got a couple of them where, like, you had a violation on a toll. You need to send money immediately to the Department of Transportation or whatever. And I said,
Yeah, I get that
that's a
Florida one.
scam. It's like
Yeah.
no government agency is going to text you.
Yeah, but I'm trying to convince my wife. I'm like, I didn't. I know it's not overdue, sweet. It's a scam. I know
Yeah,
Or
it's
the
not me. You
UPS
know.
ones.
yeah,
If
the
they go
UPS.
Yeah.
UPS
Yeah, that's
package.
one too. That's one
Yeah.
too.
All
Or
right.
they
So
try
Dom,
and
when you
sell you a package online over a phone call and
Yeah,
want
they
your
say your
details.
package has been delayed. You need to click this link. Once you click the link, they hack your phone.
Yeah.
yeah, but these
They
ones are
hacked Chase's
specific
phone
though.
last week.
Yeah,
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
yeah,
But
It was
these
a
these
whole
are
thing.
specific. These are like from a crew member that I know is on board in his cabin, and it says that I've lost my phone or wallet, and I need a certain amount of like South African rand. Correct? The South African rand.
Yeah.
I need
yeah,
a certain amount of setting a rand into this transfer wise account. Please send it and help me, Captain. And I'm like, that's for real. And then I usually text back, all okay? And they're like, yes, please help. And I'm like, this doesn't feel right. Like this is why would a crew member ask me that? Why wouldn't they call me? Or why wouldn't and then I usually ask another crew member and they'll say it's a scam, or they'll put it in the crew group that
yeah,
don't listen to this person. I'm like, well, what if it isn't a scam? That's my
yeah.
worry. You
What
know?
if you
Yeah.
what if you sent back, hey, stand by for banking details? I think I should probably send you more.
Yeah, exactly.
See
Yeah.
what they say.
So that's another. We've talked about three scams now. We've talked about the visa scam, which potential government agencies are using to entrap crew in the United States to export them. So B1, B2, we talked about that. We talked about the visa scam, which is people outside America being
Yeah.
employed and then having to apply for a visa, Canada, Australia, another country. That's a
Mhm.
scam. And then we talked about text scamming, which I think is the one that would get me the most because it's a crew member I care about and
Yes.
they're asking for money. And how do I vet that?
Yeah.
So, are there any other scams that we can think of?
Hmm.
What
I
about
was
captains asking crew to pay for things on the boat? I'm just brainstorming.
Yeah, I tell
depends on the
any
situation.
any of the crew. Yeah, it depends on the situation, but usually I tell the crew, like, look, we're not here to finance billionaires. So if you you
Yeah,
know
that's good.
we don't do. I mean, I understand, like, hey, suddenly the car doesn't work. You're in St. Martin or what have you. You know, if the captain okays it and you talk to him, say, hey, the card's not working. Hey, put it on a different card and we'll give you the cash immediately when you get here.
Yeah,
That's a different thing, but no, don't put any of your
yeah.
No.
don't finance any of these billionaires. They'll send another card, send something else, send cash, send something. You
Yeah.
So I
know,
think that's a real one because I've experienced it firsthand where owners are just not sending the money, and then
yeah,
I'm trying to get a result by leaving a marina or paying for fuel or giving
yeah,
crew
Yeah.
day workers cash or something, and I'm just like, this money's coming, and then when I had kids, I'm like, nope,
nope,
that's my kid's money, that's not mine
no,
anymore.
no, I'm not,
you know. But
no,
you've experienced Shell, I'm sure, on the boat where you've got to put a couple
Yeah.
$100 and pay for alcohol to bring to the vessel. I
Yeah.
think
I've
that's a
had these
scam.
situations, but it is. it's also like we said, depend on the situation. I've had where I had to go provision for a charter, and I kept spending. I went to Target, the stewardess workshop, and I was like swiping too much, and it said the card stopped because, like how as accounts, we have to do it in different brackets. So I
Yes.
Yeah.
swiped the card like 6 times, so it said like fraud.
Fraud.
So
Yeah.
I ended up I called my captain. He said just pay it. As I stepped on board, he sent me the money back immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Perfect.
that was the
Yeah.
agreement because I don't do that. But I have had situations where it's you just get it at the end of the month. I'll reimburse you. No, this is
Yeah.
not
No,
my
no, no.
salary money. I just spend my money that I work for. I want it right now. We have a
No.
boat in the marina that just came out. Apparently, the crew member that worked on board, I don't know him, but the owner kept saying like the money's coming. It was only him on board, but he never
Yeah.
paid for anything. Made the crew member pay for like stuff that's
No.
happening in the engine room and thing. He never saw that money, and I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it's coming. So
No,
there's
that's
different situations where you can see this is sketchy. My boat, he has money for the toy, but he can't afford the toy. You can see
yeah.
these
So
Or
situations.
he
that
just
is another scam because you, as a crew member, you're being taken advantage of, and like you're saying, Kayla Scott, is don't fund the billionaires.
yeah,
You know
don't
what I mean?
Yeah,
finance the billionaires because
Yeah.
I mean, if he has the toy, he just doesn't want to pay for it. You know, he wants
Yeah.
you to finance his in between, and I would get out of there as soon as you can. And I
yeah,
tell the other crew, and I've gotten upset with a little bit with the crew a little bit, like when they go out and just nonchalantly put it on their card or they pay for it. I'm like, no, don't do that. Don't ever do that.
yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
we have these cards and this finance is in place for this. So just make sure because if it builds up over time and you get fired, you're not getting any of that money.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
True.
that you
Actually.
say, well, you should have gotten it whenever, you
So
know.
I think we're going down a path of employment scams, and I think it's important to note too. You know, in order to protect the industry and the people, whether you're male or female, you are taken advantage of in yachting. That's a reality.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
really understand that what you think may be normal, meaning, let's say for an example, a crew member makes a pass at a female or pressures them into an environment or share a cabin between a male and a female. These things are not right. They're not legal, and it's all being people being taken advantage of. So although it might not be a scam, it's these type of chats on Tuesday designed to make crew aware that things that don't feel right are generally not right.
Yeah.
So I think you follow
Most
your gut.
definitely.
You know what I mean? Someone's asking, they may have joined late. Could you share some of the verified agencies for us with limited knowledge of these agencies? Go to Meridian, start
Yeah,
there.
Meridian.
Yacht Spots, it's great, it's huge, it's awesome. We've got Claire works in South Africa, the two owners of the Yacht Spot. I know them, they're wonderful people. You know, the Blue account, they've been awesome over the years. They were huge in America, they're even bigger in Europe. You mentioned Cotton Crew, correct?
Cotton
yeah.
Crew, Blue
Yeah.
Water, is it?
She's lovely.
Blue
Yeah.
Water, Crew Unlimited,
Yeah.
these are great agencies, but there's also bespoke agencies relative to your department. Like I think
Yeah.
it's Montclair is the chef's
Montclair's
one.
the chef's one, yeah.
Joe Hodgson and his son
Is
run
it engineering?
engineering, crew for crew, or crew for
Yeah.
engineers or something. I see those
Yeah.
emails. I, is it Emery who does more crew? That's a new one.
Yeah, she just started that.
Yeah, Emery, yeah, she does more crew, which I thought was kind of an interesting thing because they matched the personality profile, and I thought that was a pretty unique
Yeah,
perspective on it, where they
but I,
matched the personality to the boat.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I know the person. We know the
yeah, I do too.
person
Yeah,
Yeah,
behind the
she's great.
agency. So I'm like,
yeah,
okay, if it's not legit, we're going to find out and take
Yeah,
action. So
yeah,
you got to know the people behind these agencies. And as a captain,
yeah,
and when you work with agencies, you try and go as not as high as you can up in the agency. You try and know the names of
yeah,
the owners or the companies to verify because you don't want to put your crew through it. Because
yeah.
part of a good captain is also preparing your crew for the future of their career. So
yes.
you also want to give good advice to update their resumes and so forth. Good question though. What else would you like to talk about? We've got about 5 6 minutes to go. Shell, what other advice would you like to give people out there or about scams in yachting?
I think we kind of covered it all if I have to think about it. But stop giving out too much information is the big
Hmm.
one. And like just verify.
Sure.
Ask people around, like the community is actually so small. We think yachting is big. It's not.
Mm.
It's if it's too good to be true. If it sounds like that, it is. And ask your friends, hey, have you heard of this agency? Or have you heard of this captain? Like a lot of times you can go find someone on Instagram or on Facebook, who is this
Yeah.
person? Or just ask them too many questions. When you do your interview and like something doesn't seem right, just ask like the most random questions. Like I've
Yeah.
asked from, like I said earlier, I asked from nationalities of the crew, what's the itinerary? Like, oh, what is like some of these scams I've had, they didn't even know what a
Yeah.
90-day probation was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was, there's a standard in
That's right.
yachting and then there's a standard of interviewing. And if
True.
you have, and a lot of times, Green Crew, you've done a lot of interviews and spoken to a lot of people, you kind of pick up what they're asking. A scammer doesn't know what you guys are asking us.
True.
So just
True.
listen to how they're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's
what they
funny
want.
when I first came to yachting 25 years ago, I sat outside, I think it was Starbucks on 17th Street, and an American captain interviewed me, or a captain, didn't matter where he's from. And I asked these questions like, procedures, drills, safety. And I was a chief officer who'd come from Australia with a captain's license. I was ready to go. Like I look back at me then going, I was a pretty annoying person. Well, I am now too. But and then he just said, look, it's not going to work out. You're asking too many questions. And I'm like, well, at least you're honest. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
okay. We're not going to work out. That's okay. So like you're saying, Shell, just ask those questions. Know your
Yeah.
asset. What do you think, Cap Scott? What's your kind of takeaway?
Well, I would add on to that, because I came from the corporate world and the tech world, and I fortunate to have people that taught me how to interview and stuff like that. And so they said, one word of advice is to piggyback on what Shell was saying is that look, when they're interviewing you, it's also your opportunity to interview them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So ask the questions that you need to know about, because if you do get hired, you want to know what you're getting into. And if they're flubbing over these details and stuff, the boat and everything else, and they start asking you for personal information and documents and stuff like that, never give any of that out. Like I said earlier, if you do get hired, make sure it's on a secure link or a portal or something, or so that they have it on file and everything, and just trust but verify every step of the way. Because if you ask them questions and they don't remember where they got your name from and all this other stuff,
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
it's your right to decline. I know you may need the job, but you don't need to get scammed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a little bit desperate and you're trying to find something, people that are scam artists, they have a tendency to capitalize on stuff like
Yeah.
that. They know that
Yeah.
Like,
you're desperate, and they will definitely capitalize on that, because they will smell the desperation, and they'll be all over that. And then just make sure that you're very confident and see them coming.
Yeah, and Nadia, I agree 100% with you. I mean, from an emotional, standpoint, I will always go back to kind of the mental health side of things, which is you'll be going up and down. You'll be you're worried that you're down, you haven't got a job, your finances are not good. Then all of a sudden, this scammer will come and take advantage of you, and you'll get
Oh,
happy. You've
man.
got a good job, and all it's going to cost you $500. And
Yeah,
that's so. In a lot of my life, the trauma I've gone through and different experiences, I've learned the higher the highs, the lower the lows. So
hmm
try
yeah.
and keep your feet on level ground. Nadia made a great point, confirming with Shell, interviews is a two-way street. Ask all the questions, prepared to ask everything right back at you.
Yeah.
yeah,
Michelle. So I think, Nadia, you've got a lot of experience and a wealth of knowledge. Can't wait to connect again. But you're right with Shell saying, don't be afraid, especially as a female. Ask the questions. Who am I sharing a cabinet with? What are
yeah,
their
Yes.
nationalities?
yeah,
Do you have an MLC compliant contract? And then as females, there's other questions you should be asking as well to other females who are on board the vessel, maybe. Ask
yeah,
to speak to the chief stewardess if the captain's employing you directly. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Ask to speak to the purser or the chef, or because those
yeah.
relationships between you and the chef are important.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
a
don't
lot of times, what we've done in the past is once the head of department interviews them, we give them opportunity to go and talk to the rest of the crew, just to kind of
Yeah.
give them a walk around, so that they get a little more. But granted, if you're overseas, like you said, have them talk to everyone else on the crew, because if they're not allowed to talk to the other crew, chances are they may not exist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, true. But the
Yeah.
other thing I do, just so crew know, when there's a resume that comes through my desk and people are looking, I'm looking to fill a position, I leave the resume out, and the crew walk past the bridge, look at the
This
resumes, and
is true.
by the
Yeah,
end
This
of
that's
is
a
the
good
week, the
true.
one.
crew are telling
That's a
me, the crew are
yeah.
like, they've done their research. The crew are like, no, not a good call, Cap, not a
Yeah,
good
if they
call. I'm like,
start
fair enough,
drawing on
fair
it.
enough, fair
He
enough.
does do this.
Yeah, if they
Yeah,
put a big X on it, you probably
yeah.
know.
Or
Yeah,
if it
probably not.
disappears, I usually
Yeah.
notice if it disappears, I'm like,
Yeah.
enough said, enough said. It was,
Yeah.
you know, because we don't know everything as captains. Let's be honest. You know, we
No.
can only try our best, and we got a lot to manage. And you know, but once again, Shell, wonderful connect always. What's going
Thanks.
on in your life? Any exciting things happening? Any
Nothing
new
much.
projects?
I'm doing a big uniform refit right now, and then I have
Ooh,
my boss coming next week Wednesday. So I'm trying to prep and play with that for a little bit.
wow,
But we're good,
uniform
and
refit. That's exciting.
yeah, yeah, I'm really excited. So a fresh fit. So
Yeah,
yeah,
awesome,
yeah,
awesome.
it's a lot of work, but it's fun, and I'm happy to see this boat grow. And she's old, so I love to see how we coming together as a crew and like making her shine again. Like humans, she
Nice.
has scars, but she
Yeah,
tells a nice story. So.
yeah, exactly,
So we're
exactly.
having fun. We're just cold and we're in the blanket club. Everybody is walking around with little blankets because we have summer uniforms, so everyone's freezing. But
Yeah.
but yeah,
Well,
that's all that's been
too
going
cold
on
for
at
golf
home.
even, you know, I'm sure in Florida, too cold
Yeah.
for golf
Oh,
even.
Chase will still go golf. He could not. He'll
Really?
double pants.
That's
He's two
Oh,
sunny.
pairs of
It's
socks.
sunny outside. He's fine.
Yeah,
yeah.
he's okay.
All right, well,
He's
pass
fine.
my regards on to Chase and all the crew.
I
And
will.
Captain Scott, tell us a little bit about that personal branding course because I'm interested because mine's a little bit chaotic. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just
Well,
having a good time,
I'll
climbing trees.
I'll send it to you so you can go through and you tell me what you think about it. But it's basically on those four platforms I mentioned
Yeah,
before. It's about kind of organizing your bio page, and then like the main thing is focusing on what you want, who's your target audience, and who's your ideal client profile, like who are you trying to reach, who are you trying to attract. And once you get that, then you just start focusing on finding more people like that, and things like commenting on other people's profiles and stuff like that that are in alignment, and attracting those people to your circle. And then because that's where you end up learning. And I know I did that the hard way and met but I ended up meeting a lot of people that were in alignment with what I'm doing. Actually, I
that's it.
just got off the phone with a guy in UK that's doing a bunch of sailboat races and yacht
Cool.
related stuff, and he's also in investments. He's doing a big event in the at the Palm Beach boat show. So I'm
Ah,
going to help him promote and get things going because he's a great guy. And
that's it, mate.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
united we stand, divided we fall. you know,
well
Help
anyway,
each
said,
other.
yeah, exactly. Be
well
blessed,
said.
be safe, and I
Thank
really
you,
thank you
guys.
for your time. Everyone out there, check you later. Anything you need, reach out. Here to help. Be safe, be blessed.
Bye.